Hey guys, Anne here. Welcome back to my channel. References are such an important and a vital part of your grad school application, your job application, whatever application. Most people require references. And what is the sure way to get a reference letter from your professor, from your boss, and from whoever you need a reference letter from? In this video, we're covering some of my tips and tricks. Proven, I promise you. Get out your pen, get out your paper, and take notes. This is gonna be good. So these are some things that are gonna get you that reference letter whenever you need to apply for whatever you want to apply to, particularly grad school. So have you liked this video yet? Well, I promise it's gonna be a good video, so you can go ahead and like it. And if you have not subscribed, what's up? Subscribe to our channel, join the family, and I love to see this channel grow. I love that the message of my channel keeps growing and keeps going far and wide. So your subscription means the world to me. So subscribe and let's get started. Hello, what's up, what's up? All right, so references. What is the deal with references? References are vital because although we have read your statement of purpose, I mean, by we, I mean the graduate committee or the admissions committee. Although we've read your statement of purpose, that's not nearly enough because we also want to learn about you from other people. We want to get to know you better. We want people who have been your bosses, people who have been your colleagues. We want to get to know you better from their perspective. So reference letters are always important for grad school, for postdocs, for any job really. They always require reference letters. And so there's multiple things you could do to, for sure, get a reference letter from whoever you ask for. So for me, I write, so you guys know I'm a college professor, I'm a researcher. I write over 100 reference letters every academic year. So by academic year, I mean from end of August to about mid-May, I'm writing letters, I'm submitting letters, I'm filling reference forms. It's like one after the other, and well, not for 100 students, but typically if a student applies to maybe 4 graduate schools, I have to write reference letters for those 4 schools. And you're probably thinking, oh my god, 4 letters? Where does she get the time to write 4 letters? So that is why I'm making this video. There's a method to the madness, and I've taught my students this, and that's why me as a professor, I am able to deliver to students who follow my method. So here it is. Here it is. Okay, number 1 is you want to make sure your CV is crisp, up to date, and well written and clear. Okay, so that is the first thing. So number 2 is you want to double the number of reference letters required. The number of reference letters you ask for, make sure it's double what is required by the grad school, or whatever postdoc or job, right? So if they ask you for 2 reference letters, you want to ask your boss, your professors, you want to make sure you're gathering 4 reference letters. If they ask you for 3 reference letters, you want to make sure you're gathering 6 reference letters. Why the stress, Anne? Come on. Why 6? Geez, they asked for only 3. My god. Well, if one person slacks, if one person's kid gets sick and then they never fill out your reference, at least you have a buffer, right? You have somebody else you've asked. So life happens. People can promise you something and it doesn't happen. And there are many times, well, not many, but let me say about maybe 15 times where I have not been able to meet a reference deadline, and I feel so bad for my students, but I'm like, I can't. But I already taught my students that, hey, always ask for multiple reference letters. Don't just ask for the number of reference letters required. Ask for multiple, so that if anything happens, if life happens, you're good. Okay. All right. So number 3 is, this is very important. Come closer. Listen. Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? Yeah. Okay. Very important. Very important. Draft your own reference letter. This is going to change the game, guys. This is going to change the game. So when you email your professor, when you email your boss asking for a reference letter, you want to draft the letter, right? So there are 3 things that should be attached to the email you're asking for a reference letter in. Okay, 3 things you must attach. Those 3 things. You must attach a draft of your reference letter, like something you've made the draft for yourself, right? You must attach your CV, which has been really edited and looks beautiful. you must attach the job description or the graduate school you're going to, or whatever it is the reference letter is for. You must attach the details to that reference letter. Here's why. When you draft a letter for your professor, that is like the best thing ever, because all I have to do now is look at your CV, just edit how I want to edit, and send it up. So you have created your reference letter. You've created a bedrock for me. So now you've made my work so much easier. And now I'm like, oh, what a smart student. Thank you. And I get to do it so much easier, right? Because you've made the work. You've done all the work for me. And now I spend like 30 minutes looking through your CV, looking through what you're needing a reference letter for, and just editing what you've already sent and putting it on my letterhead, signing it, mailing it off, right? And so that's gonna help you. That's like a bulletproof way to get any reference letter you ask for. I'm telling you. Another something to consider, something to think about is if you want to say, Dr. this, Professor this, whatever. I'm applying for so job or so grad school. I'm applying to this grad school. I'm really excited about this opportunity. I think very highly of you. I think you would. I think you as my professor would speak to this opportunity the best on my behalf. So it would be my greatest honor if you could write this letter for me. Please find attached the graduate school I'm applying to, information on the graduate school I'm applying to, my CV, and a draft of the letter I have written for you. Please feel free to edit as you see fit. Much appreciated. Sincerely. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. However you want to end the email, great. And then put your name under. I'm telling you, anybody that reads this, they're gonna be like, wow, what a proactive student, what a proactive person. So that's that. All right. And then for my job, I have to write, well, I don't have to, but I love writing reference letters. I think it's great, especially for students I adore and students I feel like are truly gonna change the world. I love writing reference letters for them. So what I do, I don't know, hopefully your professors do this, but when I write a letter and I send it, because typically they ask professors to send the letter directly. So once I send that, I also send it to the student so they see what I wrote, right? Because why not, So what happens is that whenever you get that letter, you can actually request from your professor to give you that letter after they've mailed it, after they've emailed it or whatever. So you keep it in your archives, in your storage, whatever you call that, wherever you store all your stuff. And when you're asking that professor to write another reference letter, what you're gonna do is attach the letter they have written for you in the past and say, good morning, good afternoon, Professor this. Good afternoon, Dr. Amuta. I am so grateful you wrote this letter for me to so place. I would be honored. I would love it. I would greatly appreciate it if you could write me another reference letter to so place. Please find attached the letter you have written for me in the past. Feel free to edit as you see fit. It's such a good idea to attach whatever communication you've had with your professor in the past. When you ask for another reference letter, okay, that is going to make everything so much easier. If possible, use the email thread you've used with that professor or that boss in the past so they can see everything, like they can see your communication over the years. So for me, I never delete emails, except like I try to always get rid of spam or sales emails from companies, but any email with someone important, someone writing me references, someone I'm collaborating with, I never ever delete those emails, because when you're requesting for another reference, it's always a great idea to reply to that email thread, so that if your professor is like, what did I do? I forgot. Maybe 3 years down the line, they can go down and see what they've done, seeing your communication, and and that just makes everything so much easier on you and your professor and everyone involved. Okay. So the last thing is always send a very, very, very kind, a very, very warm thank you email or even a thank you card to your professor after they've written a reference letter. I know it sounds so dumb, like really it's just a reference letter, but it's also their time you're using to write you this letter. And it's also you're gonna need reference letters throughout your life. Even me now, right now as a professor, I need reference letters. Like from like my dean, from my head of department. I need reference letters from these people, right? I need letters of support. Maybe even if it's not reference letters, but letters of support for things. Like if I'm applying for like a fellowship, or I'm applying for an award or something, I always need reference letters of support. So it's always good to have those, and then just email, like, and these things I'm telling you, I do them myself. Maybe not the same way because I'm no more student, or but when I ask for letters from my colleagues, it's kind of the same idea, right? Where you're making it so much easier for the person you are asking the reference letter from. You're taking the burden off of them. So you're carrying the heavy lifting, and all they have to do is pretty much just edit the work. And you have, like I was saying, you have to be thankful. Send a small card, like just mail them a small card, just saying, thank you so much. I appreciate your help on this. So grateful for whatever, And if you get in, send another note. So I know this sounds like, oh my gosh, so much work. Why do I have to? It's so good because whenever you need those letters, like I always remember my students who have always been thankful for reference letters. And whenever they need anything from me, not even letters, but whenever they need anything, I'm more eager to help. Why? Because they kept up. Like they kept up. They let me know when they got into school, into grad school, or into a fellowship or into a postdoc. They let me know, and they were always thankful. They always sent me a card or like chocolate, or it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to get a little something, from students. Like I'm not nothing more than $10. Like nothing expensive. Even the cards I'm talking about, they're like 50 cents in Target. But it just shows where your heart is at when you're sending, something of, when you're appreciating your professor or your boss. And if you don't want to do any of that, if you don't want to spend a dime, still send an email. Please send an email saying, thank you, I appreciate it. I got in, I didn't get in. I mean, if you did not get in, you're going to be needing more letters from your professors. So you better, keep up with thanking and being grateful and being very appreciative of your professor's efforts, okay? All right. What else? Right, well, that's it. Have a good day, and I will see you in my next video. Let me know if you guys have any ideas for videos, or if you need any questions answered. I would love to be in touch with you. All right, see you. Bye.